What do you guys think? Is it wrong to have? Is it wrong to just want attractive characters on Smash? Yeah, of course. But like, do you think it's actually reasonable to actually ask that? I think it's reasonable to actually ask that because like, why would you play an ugly character to begin with? Unless like you're playing a parody of the games. But if you're playing a narrative-driven game, at the very least you might as well just make a character that's actually much more better or like attractive to your taste or something. Because it doesn't really like you want to make a people to actually like get attracted to the game, right? I guess that's one way to do it. What do you guys think about it? If the character is a clown, um, if the character is a clown, then you don't mind it being ugly then. Yeah, you get it. I guess so. I guess it would make sense, but like, I wouldn't mind if the character is a clown, but also like looks very good as well. I don't know. I don't remember who's that one character from Wuwa though. But are you guys ready to watch the video or not? Do you say a lot about attractive characters? Yes. What do you think about them? So black man character look like a gorilla? No, you don't have to. You don't have to make a black man look like a gorilla. what? What we need to do that? I just like if you're talking about a black character, most of the black character doesn't look like a gorilla. Like look at the upcoming game from. It makes sense? No, it doesn't. No, it does not make sense. Because like look at Blade. Look at Blade. The game's not out technically, but like he looks cool. This one. You can tell how Blade looks like because like you don't really need. It's a joke of a game. Well, not really because like well yeah it could be, but like I want you to actually game aside, but you have to actually admit the character design here is very nice. It's not out of the game. It's very stay true to its own comic. To be honest with you, Blade is a really cool character. Sometimes a little bit goofy sometimes, but yeah. My take if they are attractive and doesn't give a good like story. Hold on. Like some characters will look cool. Wait, no. My take if they are attractive and doesn't give a good like story plot, then it's meh. They are only there for looks. What characters that actually be there for only just for looks though? I don't really know what to say. Forspoken. The main character Forspoken. Character looks actually pretty good, but the writing is so meh. I know Blade, yeah. Like some characters will look cool with only the characteristic and personality. No, not really. It's just that like it doesn't. Blade is in Deadpool and Wolverine. Yeah, I know. That's the movie though. That's in the movie, and to be honest, the Blade in that movie is a little bit different in terms of design, but you know what I'm talking about. Also, Ryu. Characters will always look cool in some sceneries, like it's cinematics, you know. Like I think like Dante from Devil May Cry 1 is actually like very goofy, but he kind of looks much more attractive because he looks cool, and you know he looks very like every guy wanted to be like him. How he looks, you know. Yeah, I get, but it doesn't make sense. Make them memorable. Yeah, I guess you have a point. It doesn't stick to them, you know. But that's the story.
And all
That's the story, That's the story itself. But like, we're more talking about the attractive characters. Why do we need characters to be look sexy and hot or handsome? Like, here's the thing. Love in Dead Space. Games look like very, very old school. It's a mobile game. It's a mobile game on phone. And it's on phone, of course. But people love it because the guys look hot. Alright? The guys over there looks handsome and 10 times sexier than any other guys that you've seen. And then, of course, girls will actually get attracted to it and actually play the game and use the money. It's the same thing of making a hero be heroic. Well, not really. The thing is that like what the difference between what you said earlier and the things that we're talking about right now is the fact that we're involving first impression. So like if we're talking about someone being hero and being heroic, you need to actually get to know the characters, and you have to play the game. But if we're talking about characters being attractive, right? That comes with the first impression. What's the first impression supposed to be? Like, are you attracted to the character? Do you think the character looks cool, or do you think the character looks cringe, or is the actual color of the design actually looks good on them or not? The looking hot is a plus. I won't say this for everyone, but I like them for their personality and how they care for us. That's not the point. Well, yes, that is a leading point, but 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 we're talking about the more physical term, all right? The more physical, what is actually being presented. Because like the first impression really plays out the role. Because like the reason why people actually play Nier Automata to begin with, and actually the fact that we still talk to these days, because you have people who literally like to be. If hero is heroic, how do I look up to? Like yeah. Well, that's more like you looking into it. But like I said, it's more of the first impression that I'm talking about. But yeah, we can talk more about this in a minute later. Let's actually watch the video first before we actually go into discussion. You guys ready to watch the video? Because I feel like we could actually be looking this at a little bit different way, but we further in we further putting in the context, we can actually pull out a better discussion. You guys good with that? You guys good with watching the video or not? Should we watch the video now? Ready? 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 Play your shit, man. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I got my hit.
And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really feels so simple. Yes, give us great gameplay, fun mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. So this video is kind of related to my
I was gonna actually think about something. Is that like the reason why characters are supposed to be attractive in game is the fact that we can actually at the very least live in imagination where everyone looks actually better than us and also looks good. So I'm guessing what you're trying to say is to attract people to play your game. You want an attractive characters. Technically, yes. In some way, it kind of gives out not. It gives out an impression. It gives you something that you want to look at. Wise man said, if you give me something that I don't like to look at, why would I play a game? If you give me something that I like to look at, then I will play the game. It's like technically speaking, it's like the similar thing like how Elder Ring gives you a really cool armor set and then you put it on for the rest of the game because you like looking at yourself with the armor set, you know? Or Warframe, like you bought it, you actually grind for a new like armor set, and then you just like looking at it, even though the game is still dog shit, but you're still playing it. Like Valorant skins, you bought the skins of the Valorant, and you still play the game, even though the game is dog shit, but the skins actually make you stay there because the skin looks good. Well, who wants to spend time and energy to see something ugly? Technically, yeah, point taken. Point taken. Of course, like we can argue about like things that are actually like not really that attractive can be put in with a lot more like good writing, like some interesting lore, the story behind the characters, which or like something that is not very attractive can be put up with like more stuff that in game with other factors, you know. And it's not really that bad of a thing, but like it's just that like just imagine the fact that like the writing is bad, the character doesn't actually do anything, is useless most of the time, and has a worst dialogue ever. And then like it makes it, and you have this little neat bits of like going around, and then they start taking looking at your character design, and they say like you look like shit. Like it's to the point where people actually will divert their focus onto something that is actually much more unreasonable. You know, that's why sometimes like people can actually pick that one up one by one. But I think I might actually go off topic right at this point. Hmm. Sorry, my ulcer.
My very first video about women in
Cause
games.
let me throw into Pixel's farming games cough. That would be very nice. Thank you, I guess.
But before we get into it, we have to acknowledge everybody that is subscribed to the channel. Wow,
Yeah, she's been
honestly,
growing a lot.
I don't really even know what to say. This has been such a overwhelming week in the best way, but thank you.
After Esmingo watched her video has been really positive, honestly, and she's been growing as a content creator a lot more. She was like 300 subscribers, which is like a week ago, by the way. 300 subscribers and becoming to 110K. Excuse me, that is incredible.
Thank you to every single one of you for all of the comments and messages and just all of the support. Now, let's talk about hot characters. I've always found it very interesting when I see some gamers say, I don't care what my character looks like, I just want a good game. And while, sure, I believe some people probably do feel that way, when you actually look around at what's successful and what's not, what resonates and what doesn't, the idea that visuals don't matter, it doesn't really hold up. The second you
Um, yeah, yeah. It's not the same thing that we can brought up like art direction fights again graphic design. No, it's not the same. How do I admire a character who choose who wants to be ugly? Now that's an interesting question. In ugly in what way? Ugly in physically form, or do they want to actually ruin themselves, or ugly of like making their lives ugly so that they can actually put other people's life to be better? Now that is a better question that you should be asking. Like, what kind of ugliness are you talking about when it comes to admiring characters? You know. Because you have characters that are willing to do ugly things and make themselves look bad so that they can actually make everyone else look better, you know? Unintentionally or intentionally, it's still the same.
start digging into this stuff, it's pretty clear. Visuals play a huge role in whether
It's like, come join me becoming ugly. Yeah, well, you gotta be like very woke. You gotta be very, very woke. Or like being able to like very push out your DEI stuff out there to actually like wanting to put your characters ugly. What characters that looks phenomenally ugly in games and people are upset about it? I think most of the characters in Dragon Age Velgard looks pretty kind of ugly. Um, Even the graphic design is actually really nice. Characters like I guess characters from Marathon. There is no reason for them to be so cybernetic, but at the same time, it is something that I really want to put in immersive into the art style. Um, Force. I don't want to say Forspoken. She is attractive, but the writing is just bad. It's just really bad. Uh, what characters? I really can't say anything. Do you guys have any options? I can't think of it right now of anything. Come join my ugly personality as well. Why would I? Why? Why? You gotta be compelling though. There is like some ugly characters that can be compelling. I think like ugly characters, but still compelling. I think is like not in personality, not in physical wise, but more in personality ugliness. I think like General Shepard, Makarov, um, from Call of Duty. Sephiroth, I guess. Sephiroth is one of them. They all do that. It's hard to say. Hmm. But what's the point? What is the point here exactly?
The second you start digging into this stuff, it's pretty clear. Visuals play a huge role in whether something
Mm-hmm.
hits or flops. And if they didn't, cosmetics probably wouldn't be one of the most profitable parts of the entire gaming industry.
Ugly is my beauty. What makes you say that? If you are proud about with how you look like, that's the first step of you that you can actually be happy with. If you are happy, those characters said that. I don't know what NPC says that. I don't know what the hell is the context behind that. What the hell is going around? So I can't really say anything about it.
Truth is, I think most of us do care, even if it's subconsciously. And this isn't just a gaming thing, but for whatever reason, the gaming industry seems especially confused about it. Because books, anime, movies, shows, we care about how the characters look.
Of course, like we don't need to sexualize the characters, you know. Like one thing I would say about characters design, we don't need to technically sexualize them to get compelled by the character design, you know. There is a reason why I love From Software games because um Fia the Deathbed Companion from Elder Ring, she's not technically sexy. She's just compelling and attractive, you know, in game. Okay, now okay. Now I can see where this is where the personality comes into the play of like people getting attracted to attractive characters, you know. Okay, I would like to actually retract some of my statement here and there. Fia does actually being like a very attractive character because one she doesn't look one okay, yeah, that was my bad, that was my fault because like I think I moved away from the topic on like I was so focused on the physical to the point I forgot the whole main topic about like what makes a character to be attractive in general. I am sorry about that. I apologize about that. Okay, but one thing I would say is that like you're right about personality does play a part of the character because Fia is not really a sexy character. She's like more of those characters that is actually very she's a very compelling character in some way that she shows off passionate and also affection to you, you know. Like there like you know the times where like you go into the game, we know it's wrong to have attractive character, but the world will have a lot of gooners. You can't really get away from that. That's why we have a lot of gacha games that actually comes to play right now nowadays. Actually, gacha games nowadays is actually like been like the mainstream of gacha game. You have to have only attractive characters. Attractive characters is the main role of like making the game like viable. You know, put one fat ugly dude in there and the people will not like it. Except for ZZZ though. ZZZ, they can put a panda or a big bear. I would still love that character. But I think at the end of the day, people who look into this, sorry, gacha miniature characters more profit. Exactly, exactly. Now look at ZZZ, Wooden Wave. What other games? Genshin Impact. Silver Palace, that's like an upcoming gacha game. NTE, not a lot of them there have like any ugly characters as for the monsters. Those are just cute characters. There is beautiful characters. There is beautiful written characters. Like Wooden Wave has like really interesting characters that are compelling, you know. I think Jian is also one of those characters that is very interesting. Scar, um um Jinshi, Cantarella, and Corlata. Eh, Carlota? I forgot her name. Shit. Um, Rover, the main character that you play as, is also another like one of the few compelling characters to be very, like plays the role of being attractive. But yeah, like at the end of the day, I can see what you mean by like the personality kind of plays a part of of the character to be visual to be compelling and attractive. But again, it's debatable because like you know some people say people gacha for their abilities instead of looks, but of course the main focus is attractiveness because because at the end of the day like I said, the first impression kind of plays a role here. Like some people don't really look into this kind of deep stuff of mechanic of the game. So like like anime people watch anime majority, and you have a lot of gooners around the world because that's actually like the majority. Literally, if you think about it, like majority of the players are probably guys. And when they look at a statistic, they will probably make the character have more appealing, in terms of skin tone. Like, do you guys remember Mario Rivals release Emma Frost? When Emma Frost first released that character, got so much hype, got so much posts, fan arts all around the places. Fans were happy, were roaring, so many tweets about her being there, literally. People were cosplaying them. 99.9% of people were gooning for her. Exactly. Now, now, think about this way then. Marvel is releasing, going to release Ultron in the next coming days. Probably tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. I have not seen a single post from Twitter of or a fan art for Ultron. Nobody was actually talking about Ultron at all. I didn't know Ultron was gonna come out tomorrow until I watched a video 3 days ago. Nobody was talking about it. Because why? Because Ultron is not technically what most of those group people were actually attracted to. Yeah, you may say like some people were actually attracted to his abilities. Ultron with a big trunk. If they make him with a big ass, sure, no, people will go for it. Even the guys. Okay, so to get you into the game, they're attracted in this, but to get you to stay in the game, personality and abilities and yada yada. Technically, yes. So yeah, you have that's technically the generalized process of the game. Like you gotta get the first impression right. You get people and get into the game, but in order for you to actually stay in the game, you gotta make the characters to be compelling and also the writing to be good in the game. You don't want to make people get out of the game because of the writing being so bad. Because after a while, I'm unsure, but Emma Frost the hype thingy actually died down. It didn't die down. It didn't die down. Emma Frost, it didn't die down because like technically the reason why it died down is because Mario Rivals is a live service game. Technically, in the end of the day, people who plays live service games will eventually be die down because like people will have their own things. You can't keep consistent. You can't keep consistency to be like up there for every day. You can't do that. You can't expect that. But in the end of the day, to this day, Emma Frost is still a character people would actually goon for. It's still a hot topic to begin with. She's a hot character, like Overwatch 2, another example. But we don't need to go into that because we're actually delaying a lot of things right now. Let's
We
continue
always
with the
have.
video.
Now, just to be clear, an attractive character cannot save bad writing or bad gameplay. A great design won't make a boring game fun.
Forspoken characters from Dragon Age Guard is like the main prime thing of like can't be safe at all.
And eye candy is totally pointless if there's zero substance to back it up. And on the opposite side, it's not like a game is necessarily doomed if the characters are uninspired or unattractive. But let's be honest, we have been done dirty quite a few times at this point. But
There is one indie game that was actually very. I forgot the name of the game. I totally forgot the name of the game. I forgot about the game actually exists. It was a very indie game where like there was a bunch of people actually getting into the band together. It was a beat type game, but it was horrible because their characters were very janky, weirdly looking. That's the thing that I can actually pull up with. I forgot about that game. I don't remember, but there is the reason why I don't like actually looking into that game is because the game looks bad for me. That's it.
when it does work, when you combine great writing, solid gameplay, and a compelling visual design, that's really when the secret sauce hits. And that's when a character truly becomes iconic. So, how
Yeah.
important is beauty really? What can it actually be used for in storytelling? And why does it matter at all? Yes,
I will say it again. I think the reason why the beauty of the characters in gaming are actually matter is because it actually plays a role of like getting people into the game because the first impression kind of hits for the majority of people who are in the gaming community itself. Plus, like, it's not only guys who are actually attracted to this. You have some women who actually statistically proven choose a beautiful woman over an ugly woman. They would actually have attractive character over ugly characters. But yeah, but at the end of the day, I think that attracting the beauty of of the characters really does play the role of like people getting into the game to see what the game actually made of.
Beauty is completely subjective, but let's try and figure it out together. When it comes to
Mm-hmm.
storytelling, beauty isn't just about looking good, it's about what that beauty communicates. It's a kind of
Mm-hmm.
visual shorthand for personality, purpose, or the emotional tone of a character. Take
Mm-hmm.
Cortana from Halo. She's sleek, luminous, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of
I
untouchable.
forgot about Cortana. She was like like very beautiful back then. I remember her. I remember her back then, dude. Let me put the camera down here so they can see everything so much better. She's a beautiful character from Halo. And the fact that she kind of fits well into the game is because like yeah, oh, she's naked or something. No, she's not technically naked. She's a hologram. Why does a hologram need clothes to begin with?
Her ethereal design isn't
Like, think about it. It's a no, no, wait. No, that's not what I meant. But like I'm talking about like something that is like more engineering. What the fuck he said? No, I said it like, oh God, I said it like it's actually makes sense in terms of toning. Like she's an AI. She's an AI. Okay. In the other day, she's an AI. Like she would actually just go off and like thinking about like she doesn't need clothing to begin with. She can just be like that. Hologram only for naked people? No! Oh my god, no! No, that's not what I meant. I said like like she's a hologram. Why would she need clothes for that? Because like she's an AI. Well, if she can have clothes for that any other day, but like in the end of the day, if she can cover up like some of the things that are actually make people throw off, instead of like making people wanting to actually look at the characters, so AI doesn't need clothes. Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I think we were actually going off the very wrong path right now. Redeem applause. That's a very bad moment of you actually call redeem applause. I s- what I meant is that like the reason why Cortana doesn't actually have a proper clothing on is because she's an AI. So what the developers actually made her is just that like she probably designed a character that doesn't really need a clothing, but at the very least wear something that is actually split like explicitly more politely like for the people who are at an age do not throw them off from the game. They don't want to actually throw them off from the game. They don't want to actually make the game intention to be like diverted, because this is still a shooting game. But at the very least, when you play a Halo game, when you're fighting against bugs or monsters, all this shred and war and sadness and sorrow, you at the very least have some comfort of affection and to look at Cortana. By looking at Cortana, I mean. Cortana gives out like a mother vibe, or like something like a company that you can actually appreciate it. Even though she's not really well war or anything, but like it keeps people to look at her. I didn't work. I'm sorry. He really is. He is really into attractive character. Has to be no clothes as well. Oh my god, no! I do. I would rather have characters wear clothing instead of being naked. For the love of God, don't do that. Don't twist my words like that. That's not what I meant.
random, it reinforces her role as an AI. She's attractive, mysterious, highly advanced, but also just slightly out of reach. Or Aerith from Final Fantasy. She's beautiful in this
Mm-hmm.
really soft, gentle way. Her design
I like that her design is like like a very gentle girly pop, while Tifa is like more of a brawler type of fit. You can, because like they both fit in their own ways of like telling you the roles. Like the Arif has more of the back backhand role, while Tifa is more of the frontliner, just because she can punch something very strong, very strong. Flower girl, yeah, flower girl.
radiates hope and warmth, and you feel that when she's on screen. There's something very delicate and endearing about
Oh,
her.
mind you, it's also not only because of the attractive actually plays the role. It's also the voice, how they actually portray the character into the story.
That sticks with you. Then there's Eve from Stellar Blade, and yeah,
Eve is a little bit offhanded from me. I'm not gonna lie. She's a little bit over the top for me, to be honest with you. I cannot deny she's a little bit over the top in terms of her design. She's beautiful, sexy, but like a little bit too much. There's something about her that's a little bit too much in the game that developers we gotta have a talk with. Articulation matters. I would agree.
people definitely noticed her design pretty much immediately. She's bold,
Excuse me.
striking, and yes, super hot. But
Super,
what's
super
cool is that once the game launched, the gameplay actually backed it up. And okay,
Yeah.
can we talk about Verso from Clair Obscur?
I don't want to talk about it right now because I don't want to actually get spoiled. Characters from Expedition 33 looks very good, and the characters are perfect into the expedition because the characters have give out such a compelling story. I have not yet checked out the story yet because I've heard the story is really good, but I've been really wanting to get into this so badly, but I just gotta wait.
For a second because
A doll that
he's
everyone want to
undeniably very
have.
handsome.
Oh my god.
The white hair, the posture, the somber expression, he's restrained, haunted, and you immediately feel like there's something deeper going on. These characters aren't designed to just be pretty. They're designed with intention. Their looks are part of their emotional blueprint, and the fact that they're attractive is what actually initially draws you in. Their looks tell you how to feel before a single line.
I told you. In the end of the day, the reason why the characters are pretty is to get you into the game. To get you, it's the first impression.
Of dialogue. As humans, we are biologically wired to respond to beauty, and that's not a bad thing.
Oh, yeah, she has a point there.
So when a character's design feels off or it doesn't match the story we're being told, that disconnect can make it way harder to emotionally connect. And
And I will say it again, from the great word of the mighty Exilius, if there is something that I don't like, why would I spend my time looking at something ugly instead of something beautiful? Why would I just spend my time looking at something that is actually beautiful? Do that.
this kind of visual storytelling has been around
Shout out
for
to
ages.
Exilius, by the way.
This is nothing new, and it's not just in games. It's everywhere, especially in film. Taking a look at Lord of the Rings, think about Aragorn.
Oh my god!
Rugged,
Oh, I
attractive,
thought he was gonna talk about the Gollum again, am I?
weathered, and quietly noble. His entire look reflects the burden that he carries. And
I
you
need
can
to watch
see
this
the weight
movie.
of his
I got a
past
trilogy
just by
with me.
looking at him. Then there's Eowyn and Arwen, two beautiful women with totally different vibes. One is a warrior with conviction, the other is a very soft, ethereal queen. And their looks reflect who they are at their core. And that's what good design does. It supports the
It kind of tells you the story, and I kind of like that.
story. All right, switching tones completely here, but I have to talk about my love for the Mummy series very quickly because
Oh, Momo series. Are they gonna talk about Yennefer from The Witcher 3?
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz
Oh!
weren't just very fun, flirty, iconic characters.
Oh
They
my
were
god, the
extremely captivating.
mommy!
Their chemistry was off the charts.
Oh, you mean the mommy movies? Okay, not the mommy MILF thing. Okay, I misunderstood that very badly.
And they were both ridiculously attractive, okay? But their beauty didn't just decorate the film, it amplified it. The adventure they were on, the romance,
Bro.
the danger. I actually love this series
Bro,
so
I
much.
miss this movie
used to
so
work at
bad.
the Mummy roller coaster at Universal. And I may or may not have hearing loss in my one ear, thanks to Brendan Fraser screaming for his coffee at the end of the ride. Just a little bit of NPC lore for you.
I didn't actually check that one out. I don't remember that actually. I love the Mummy series, man. It's because like I love Brendan Fraser, how he looked like. He looks like a badass guy. Like I think personally, I think he's like a better character for me to actually get attracted to compared to Indiana Jones personally.
So if we know that beauty helps tell the story, what about when it's entirely in the player's hands? Let's talk about character customization and the literal
Same thing, but
billions
more-
being spent on
more
it.
in
Video
depth.
game cosmetics are a multi-billion-dollar industry. In fact, media research projects that purely cosmetic in-game purchases will reach $100 billion a year by 2028. Let that sink in for a second.
Damn.
$100 billion a year for making your character look nice. Listen, all right, I am not ashamed that I myself played a part in this pretty recently. I hadn't
I'm looking at you, Ryu.
touched Fortnite in like 7 or 8 years, but I randomly started playing duos again over the last few months, and pretty much right after I did, I saw none other than Spike Spiegel and Faye Valentine in the shop.
Oh wait, they have a Cowboy Bebop collaboration? I do not know. Remember that? God, what did I do? Ho ho ho! You know what you did? Overwatch 2.
Yeah, I was buying up those V-Bucks pretty much immediately. It was just the idea of getting to play as some of the characters I love so much in a game that I've unironically been having a ton of fun with. It was almost like I had no choice here. Quick side note.
You know what's so funny is the fact that I don't even actually pay those kind of characters. I actually would rather save my money instead of like, buying cosmetics. But in the end of the day, if you give me a good skin in Valorant, I would buy it. I actually still actually did not regret buying Prime Vandal from Valorant, and the reason why I keep playing Valorant, the fact that the game is so shit after 2 years of like no content. I would still love it, actually. I would still love playing the game with my Prime Vandal. Because the Vandal looks so good, dude. I have an addiction, it's different. That's what they all say to begin with. Oh my god, Valentine!
Faye
I'm
Valentine
seeing Valentine
definitely
right
goes
now.
on our list of amazing female characters for sure. And I must confess, I also purchased the Sabrina Carpenter skin. Her dress was just so pretty. Now, on the flip
I
side,
agree.
the opposite is true too. When character design fails to
Can
resonate
you just imagine Sabrina Computer literally killed you and then she just hitting the greedy? While you're actually down? Oh god, I can't imagine that. Oh god.
players clock it immediately. This is very old news at this point, but I always think about Concord. This was really the first time
You know, one thing that I don't really have much of opinion about Concord is the fact that Concord for me looks very immersive, its own style. But god damn, they could have actually made the character to be more compelling. To be honest with you, the guys' character are actually really good, are okay for me in Concord. Some of them not really that great, I would say. But the woman though in the game, it's dog shit. There is one character that looks at least okay for me. But like she's not even here. She's not even here to begin with.
at least for me, that I had seen so much public backlash about character design. And for Concord, yeah, it kind of seems like this.
Yeah, this one when I saw her, I immediately don't want to actually play the game because one, it's not because like I don't like I know she's a tank, you know. Like compared to her to the one that has already existed for years, Zarya in Jungle Queen. Why would I spend that much time to just look at her? Like, I would rather just go back to Overwatch 2 and actually look at my mommy muscle, my muscle mommy, I mean, Junker Queen, literally. Zarya is my number two a muscle mommy in the game. Junker Queen is my number one for now. But yeah, Junker Queen and Zarya, those are like the perfect formula of like perfect muscle mommy character design for me. I still love them to this day.
This was one of the biggest reasons that it flopped. People did not like the characters. They felt awkward, uninspired, off-putting, forced in a market full of games where the character designs
I
are
wouldn't say. Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. They kind of feel forced. Yeah, no, no, they're right. They're right. She's right. I agree with you, Ahem. I too am a fan of Damn. You sit down. I didn't ask for your. I didn't ask for your opinion. You have an addiction. It's different.
intended to be inherently beautiful, bold, attractive. Concord's cast kind of looked like they were built by a committee just to check boxes. And
Yeah.
then there's Starfield. This game was supposed to be
Oh God, Starfield is another. Can't say much, but I've seen a couple of clips left and right. The game looks pretty kind of horrendous. Looks very outdated. There is one character that looks actually really nice, but that's it. Nothing other than that actually really compels me.
massive, story-rich, world-expanding, but on top of just so-so
God,
gameplay, the one
what
thing
are
I kept
you?
seeing over and over again was how unappealing, bland-looking, and emotionally empty the NPCs felt. They didn't draw you in or match the tone of the world.
Like they look like the same thing that you actually took in from Fallout 4. And that game was not really that good looking as well for me, to be honest with you. Actually, no, I kind of like Fallout 4 kind of looks good sometimes, but character wise, it looks pretty kind of shit. But like, to be honest with you, Fallout, Starfield, the beginning of the characters looks pretty okay. There are like some of the characters like that plays the role of like that plays the main role of the main story does look nice, but the side characters are just like for an open world game that makes you want to actually do side quests and like want to actually like explore the universe. At least put in some effort to make their characters to be good looking at the very least.
For the most part. They were just generic copy paste that you didn't really want to engage with. Another game that comes to mind that
RDR series? What's a RDR?
I've mentioned before is Star Wars Outlaws. Unfortunately, both good gameplay and good character design were a miss here. And they were even
Unfortunately, this one was one another flop game where like this game doesn't need to be a Star Wars game. I think it could have been better for them to actually not be a Star Wars title, just putting it through another game, and the people would assume that this is actually another Lara Croft games or something. I think she could have been a really good Lara Croft, Personally, maybe not really, but yeah, whatever. Red Dead Redemption, Red Dead Redemption, The Witcher has much more better character designs for the NPCs. They all did a very good job. Cyberpunk 2077, also another great game with great design of the NPCs. Um, what other game that has really good NPCs? Final Fantasy 7, I think. I haven't played that game yet, so I couldn't say. Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 16, no, not so. I don't think 16 actually has a really good compelling story of the side stories. I mean, hmm, hard to say. I think Expedition 33 has also something like that as well, even though the characters are not humans. Let me just throw this. Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2. That game, we don't need to put it in because one, the game is actually really immersive in its own era. Second, the game is already been running in a Cry engine, which is, mind you, one of the most very, very well designed and well optimized game engine ever. So technically speaking, the game is actually like really, really like abnormously, really, really good looking. Even without the NPCs, the game looking at the visuals, even though you can see the visuals in real life or in the through a Google image, it still looks very nice in game. Like the fact that it managed to capture it, such a very good essence of it. Oh, hi there, Gar. Welcome to the stream. Also, why can I not hear my? Why can't I hear my? Oh, weird. Where's Father? I have no idea. Give me a sec. Let me sec. This is like the second time that it's actually being problematic. And the fact that every NPC has a uniqueness to them, I agree. Never played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2 yet, but I've seen a couple of things about the story so far. Not the story, some of the characters. Because of my friend who likes Kingdom Come Deliverance really does show me a lot of things. Give me a sec, okay? Why is my Chrome running so slow? Hmm. Give me a sec, yeah? What? Hold on, okay? It's not working. Uh, uh. Give me a sec, yeah? I'm so sorry that you guys have to wait. It's okay, let's watch the video first, then I can actually continue.
because her actress is so stunning. The blueprint was right there,
I
but for
agree.
some reason, I guess they couldn't make a character design that did her justice. And the disconnect
They had to make her hair to be like a broomstick, like literally like a broom. Like I don't know why. Her hair looks like a mop.
across all of these examples is important to note because it's not just about realism, it's about relatability. Games are probably the biggest storytelling medium, and a character's design should invite you into the story. People want to feel something when they look at a character: excitement, admiration, curiosity. And when
Mm-hmm.
what you're looking at feels flat, awkward, or overly ordinary, like someone you just passed by on the street, it breaks the fantasy. And that desire for
This is like the
your
wait, hold on.
character to look attractive and appealing, it starts even before the actual game begins. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example.
Okay, before we talking into that, I think this is like the perfect time to say like there's a massive difference between people who wants to actually make good characters compelling and attractive, compared to the people who want to push DEI stuff, like pushing out their ideas, like this is like they're trying to actually find a balance. You have to find perfect balance of relatability, but also to have this very standard beauty to be like to be like you have to actually find your way through find your way through to find the balance between those two. Relatability and also the attractiveness are something that is really hard for you to actually to find a balance with, because like you don't really need really need a very heavy job on the relatability at the very least. But I think like when it comes to like making characters, I think it should be actually clear the fact that the characters should be really um what does I need the word, the character should be at the very least something that you should really put out, something that you can actually see yourself in, you know, characters that you can feel what it feels like when you actually put into their shoes, you know, not in terms of physical but also in something more in personalities as well. But like in terms of like I think this is why this is where like the customization really does actually comes in handy with for everyone else, because you can make you look like your own character in real life, literally, so that you can actually see like you can see, it makes you feel like you're actually in the world yourself, you know. At the very least, you can actually tweak in here and there, because like that, not only that you're thinking that that's also your like your own self, it's also a world where you can actually think that that's probably the best you version of that in the game. I think that's the reason why people love RPG games, because they want to actually do something, they want to actually do things that kind of unimaginable, but they're being held back things in real life, but they will also like they will just do it and relieve themselves in game instead. But that's a off topic at this point. Um, but yeah, I guess I have I guess this is a really eye opening for me, the fact that there are a lot of developers don't really actually think about don't think about the relatability of like other people who wants to actually have attractive characters on their side, instead they actually push their own ideology to the players itself, to the point that it makes them kind of feel conflicted or feel unsatisfied or uncomfortable, you know. Am I making any sense at this point? Because I can't really think very well because of this pain on my mouth right now. It's crushing me slowly.
and appealing, it starts even before the actual game begins. Take Baldur's Gate 3, for example. According to Larian, players collectively spent over 8,000 years just in the character creator. That's like
Damn. Wisdom tooth issues? No, it's the ulcers. I have also one ulcer on my lips here and ulcer on my cheeks. It's really hard for me to talk. Ha! That's why I have to like talk like a lazy person right now. Uh, but let me say this: 8,000 years in a bloody character customization is insane. I don't do that much. For my character, just give me a darkstone character with a big nose and a little bit slanted eyes, and that's enough for me. But people who go that far for customization is insane. I mean, customization in RGB are, if you're giving it, make use of it, right? You have a point. You're right on that one.
Like 16% of the game's total playtime before even starting the game. And yes, I did contribute to that. Because to me, character aesthetics are just part of the immersion. They're part of what makes an incredible game. They help me feel more emotionally anchored in the world and make for a way more enjoyable experience. And this goes for
Mm-hmm.
both male and female characters alike. Even in Red
Mm-hmm.
Dead Redemption 2, I loved getting to change Arthur's hair, his beard, and
I
outfits, and
agree.
I'm just so glad we got to do that because I
I do have to say it's kind of feel weird to actually see Arthur Morgan to have like just a mustache and no beard. It kind of throws me off a little bit. That's why I was very surprised the fact that you can actually customize, but it's not really that big of a deal for me. I was just very surprised because I'm so used to having a full beard and a mustache of Arthur Morgan.
really felt like I could reflect where he was at mentally and
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. That small touch made him feel a lot more real. Now, switching gears for a quick moment.
Okay.
Bear with me here, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and out myself
Okay.
for a second. I love a good romantasy book. Yes, 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 I know, but before you roll your eyes and you click off the video, please just hear me out.
I
These
I
stories
have no problem with the fact that you love romantic book or something because like at the end of the day, this is actually a point. This is like where I stand my point about like people who got attracted or got hooked in love with this space gameplay, because they can actually imagine themselves actually getting hooked with 3 to 4 guys who are actually sexy and hot looking and they look like from Korea, literally, and just get them attracted or like put them into bed or something. I don't know, and also like gacha games as well, gacha games as well, like they wouldn't mind actually go to a side quest or side characters quest with the character that they have. Like, I enjoy my time spending my time with my main character in Wooden Wave with Chang-Li, and also and also Carlota, and also Contrella. Contrella was actually beautiful for me, but other characters I don't really give a shit. But like, this is also like the reason why you actually make the players stay in the game, because there's a point of view where like people would actually put themselves into a position that they're in, that the main character are in with a certain characters, because like some people can be a little bit delusional with their own state of mind, but like at the end of the day that's not a really bad thing, because they want to see something that can actually what it's like to be in that kind of situation. I feel like this topic could be related to manga slash comics. Give me an example. Give me an example right now. Give me an example of like what do you mean by the mangas and slash comics? I think yes. If we're talking about manga slash comics, right? Um, I think the best. I think like I want to say. Oh, no, not that. I need you to give me an example, because I can't really think of anything right now because of this pain. I heard Among Us. No, I did not say Among Us. Hi, Exilius. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Welcome to the stream. We are talking about, is it so wrong to just want attractive characters? You're free to say anything at all if you want to about it. You can say about your take about attractive characters. Oh yeah, I also pull out your quote. Just saying. Mm. I just wait the video finish. Yeah. I'll finish up the video first. In the sense where you have two manga, right? One cover has attractiveness, people assets, and everything, and the other two cover is just a plain black and white of a character that looks sub and per, but is the main character. Huh. Wait. I need to process that actually. Sorry, I can't think of right now. I want attractive characters in game. The Exilius has spoken. One cover has attractiveness, people as said, and everything, and the other two cover. Uh, what do you mean one cover actually assess? Did that make sense? Like based on the cover, will you actually pick up the manga? Oh, you mean like you're putting out the cover art, right? Putting out the cover art that looks supposed to be looks very good, and you actually want to pick up the book. Technically, yeah. Like I said, like I said earlier, the first impression is going. If you want to sell something, this is a thing that my dad taught me. When you're trying to sell something to a person or to a customer, the first thing, first impression hits the fucking mark. It is it is essential you have to get that thing hit on. If not, people would not actually pay mind their own business with something that they don't really think is interesting. I think like the best example is like YouTube videos. YouTube videos, if you don't have a good thumbnail that people attract people, you won't have them to click on to the YouTube videos. Similar it goes to manga covers. If the manga cover is not good looking and doesn't actually deliver the what is trying to show you what is intended to be in the manga, then there's no point to actually get interested in. You like the manga cover like Jujutsu Kaisen. Jujutsu Kaisen has a really interesting one where like the cover has to be really good, telling of like each characters that are supposed to be like what does the each character supposed to do, what's going to happen to them, what are we gonna supposed to see in this manga, you know? Because like imagine you bought a manga book, but the cover actually has a whale, but then you actually look into the whole manga, there's no fucking whale. This is a scam. You kind of like it's actually throwing people off, you know? So like at the very least, you gotta have something of sensical of like showing a whale or something, you know. And it doesn't have to be something that can, like physically, but you can also show off like people can actually, oh, I get it. There's a whale in this, you know. You know what I'm talking about? Do you get me? Damn a whale. It's a bloody example, okay? It's a blood example. Leave me alone. Yes. Okay. Thank you. But um, hope he doesn't eat me. Oh, shut up. The compare contrast. Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. That's the only thing I can think of right now with this my stupid pain in the mouth right now. Leave me
Genre
alone.
includes some of the best selling books on the market. You maybe have heard of series like Throne of Glass or Akatar, and the characters in
Hmm.
these stories are described with this enchanted, ethereal kind of beauty. It's dramatic, it's swoony, it's meant to
What
sweep
the hell of AI generator? Is this the real art? No, wait. This is the real art. Never mind. This does look really real art. I could be wrong.
you off your feet, and that's part of the fantasy. It's part of the immersion.
Never mind. It looks very AI generated. Am I wrong? Because this looks like this look like what's Akatar? What is Akatar? Ships of Soul. I tried, man. Scream. She said Akatar. What the hell is Akatar?
There's even one fan favorite image of a certain Akatar character that went viral, and for many fans,
I gotta check it out. What the hell is Akatar? Oh, it's a book. It's a book. Why are you bonking? I am a sin for Raisan? What the hell? Is this like a romance fantasy book? A bonk Ryu? Why would you bonk Ryu for? For no reason at all. There's a reason for it. Oh! Is this the book? Is this the book that you're talking about? Sarah J. Maas? Because I've seen these books in in my bookstore. I was thinking of buying it, but then I realized this is not The Witcher 3. This is not Harry Potter. What the fuck is this? Huh, interesting. This is also another thing that I think is would be interesting as well. I think the books are a bit different, but like yeah, if you have enough words to actually explain something that is interesting, people would actually that is enough to actually people would that is enough to actually put up a person mind to actually construct an image with how it works. I think people would actually get a chance to actually imagine that the character is supposed to be attractive, you know? I am a sim for Azrael in the series. Anyways, don't worry. I'm not judging you because I think it's actually really nice the fact that you are actually explicitly enjoying your time reading books, even though it is something much more naughty.
And
Read
that's
right now,
basically canon
she
now.
is.
Godspeed to whatever casting director
That is
has to find that
that
guy
is
in the real
very
world.
good.
They will come
That
for
is a
you.
very good emote.
The exact same thing happens in anime and animation, sometimes even more intensely. These characters are just
Now we're going into anime, of course. We're going to anime right now. I ah. I think there's also something about like anime. I think let me talk about anime first. I think there's something about anime that is actually like a thing that where like people are talking about like how every anime characters technically looks the same. Like Dragon Ball Z. Like if you remove their hair, they all look the same technically, but the differences between all Dragon Ball Z characters is the hair and the clothing and how their personality actually works like. That tells you the differences between all of the characters. Same goes to the other enemies where like the hair color, the color of their eyes, or the what kind of clothing they're choosing, what's their personality, what's the tone of the voice, what is the nose shape? Well, not nose shape. No, what is the skin tone color is supposed to be? Sometimes it can be a little bit different, but like they tell us you a bit different from one character to another character, even though the characters' faces in general looks the same.
designed from the ground up to be visually appealing. Their looks are exaggerated, idealized, sometimes maybe a little too much, but we love them for it. And there's a
What is character that literally just a little bit too much? Oh God, High School of the Dead. That's the first thing that comes to my mind. Oh my God. That one is a little bit too much, but like in the end of the day, the characters has a lot of the characters in anime has an opportunity to show off a huge amount of contrast to tell you there is a huge of a story plot or storyline for the character for people to actually fanfic. I like Prison School. Okay, I don't want to go into that topic. No, we're not going to talk about that anime. Bro, I'm telling you right now, it happens in real life where people can't identify who's who because they only can see the face, like Chinese people, because they all look the same. Don't get me wrong, most of the Indian males kind of look the same nowadays, actually, for me. Mm. Throws in all those reverse harem shit. What the fuck? No! What the fuck? No! Don't throw it at me, throw it at whiskey.
reason that certain characters dominate cosplay every con season, or why fans fight over who's best girl or best boy with genuine passion. Even in the VTuber space, visual design is everything. And there's a reason VTubers put so much effort into their appearance, and people can completely fall in love with them before they
I agree. I agree. For me, in my eyes, the reason why people, sorry for actually, I don't know if I'm actually gonna hurt people's feelings when I say this, but the reason why I feel like people are actually like, watching VTubers is because it's like they're watching an anime in the end of the day. It's like they're watching an anime, like, but with more personalities or like more interaction with the anime characters. Technically speaking, you're like literally wanted to talk to a 2D character. It feels like you don't want to talk to real life girls, but you're given a choice to talk to VTubers because they're more attractive, I guess. Maybe not really the way, maybe not the same thing, but I think that's what I feel like in my eyes. In my uni, there's a Nigerian guy came up to me and asked which Malay girl was who because they said they all look the same. I don't blame him because like most of the Malay girls wear tudung. They wear the scarf to cover up their hair. So like the limitation of like people wanted to actually like try to tell is kind of hard. It's kind of limiting. Then there's those AI generated chat that has character. I don't know what it's called. You mean ChatGPT stuff? What do you mean?
ever even hear their voice. The look, the aesthetic, the vibe, it all is meant to draw people.
Yay,
The
Shiny Lee
design
got
is the
mentioned.
hook. All of this is so important because when a character looks the way they're supposed to feel,
Ah, Shiva.
that's when the magic happens. That's when people get protective, That's when a fandom really forms. Piggybacking off of all of
I
that,
think Melina from Elden Ring really does plays a role here for me, for me personally, because I was attracted with the characters with the character of Melina from Elden Ring because she has a very strange eye, very strange eye, but she looks beautiful and attractive in some way that you really are kind of held like curious about her. Even to this day, I still do not know what the fuck is her lore to begin with, but like at the very least, the ending, one of the endings of Elden Ring, kind of shows you something about her that makes me want to actually, you know more about her. Even after playing the game, she still sticks to me in my heart, even though she just comes out one or two times in games.
I'd like to touch on something very quickly that gets brought up a lot in
Hmm.
conversations like this. And
Also, she removes her limiter in the second phase. You mean Melina? Melina? Wait, are you talking about Melina or Melania? You're talking about Melania, aren't you? When you mean by her limiters, are you talking about her clothing? Brother, I'm talking about Melina, not Melania. But yeah, I guess you can say Millennia also kind of plays the same role, kind of plays the same effect as Melina did to me. So like technically, yeah, that makes two characters. Like Melania, Melina. I don't know who's who. I haven't played Elden Ring. Melina is the person who actually allows you to level up in game. The woman with the peach hair, pink hair with the one eye closed, one eye open. She's the one who gives you the torrent ring.
that's the idea that it's just gamers that are the ones who care way too much about a character's appearance. That it's just gamers who have this problem. Like the second someone doesn't
Mm-hmm.
like a design, it's suddenly gamers are just toxic and you just need to get over it. But
No, no. At the end of the day, this is like where people actually tend to forget. What is the point of like playing games? In the end of the day, you play games to escape reality, and in order to do something real, like trying to escape from reality, you don't want to pull something real or something that is actually exclusively true in a sense into a game. Well, like, why would you put if you put my if you put my face if you put the face of myself into the game and I see myself in there, I would unsell myself. No, I would unsell the game. I would refund the game. Pink haired, are your wife? Yeah, you did. Do you know Melina? I'm talking about Melina from Elder Ring. Super Bulgars, what the fuck? Well, I haven't played Elden Ring yet. Well, there's a girl named Melina. She's the one who actually allows you. She's technically your firekeeper to begin with. I will probably burn the game. I will probably burn the game as well. If I see myself, wait, what do you mean by you will probably burn the game? Will you probably burn the game because of you seeing yourself, or is it because of you seeing me as a character in game? Which one exactly? Now I need to actually know. Wait, wait, what the fuck? You know what? Let's just move on.
based on everything that I've said thus far, honestly, I do not think that's fair because this is a thing across every genre, every medium. Everybody wants well designed, fun, good looking, beautiful, charismatic characters. It's how
You want to know something funny about it? I want to know something so funny about gaming community. I love the fact that the gaming community have this moment where you play in live service, like service moments. Like I love the fact that you're allowed to be toxic. I miss those moments where you're allowed to be toxic. Like, like who remembers here who watched my stream when I would react to Riot CEO literally talking about like they wanting no toxicity in their game when their game is the cause of their toxicity. Like I want you to sink in. This is the same developer who made League of Legends. You know, Melina, right? She's pink haired, kind of pink haired, or peach color. I don't remember. So not gonna comment on that. Time to study. Bye, guys. You're still here. You're not going anywhere, motherfucker. So like this is like so funny to me because people are like trying to deny. Technically, he didn't make the game toxic. Technically, no. Like the reason why people were toxic in game of Valorant or Call of Duty and Counter Strike to begin with is not because they are just toxic. It's because the game exists. The games allows you to be toxic because technically it's a skill based game where like you play with other people. Sometimes people you just get mad easily. Like yes, we can actually kind of like giving a lot more factors about like why he's got pissed off, why is he toxic, or like maybe he just have a bad attitude, yada yada yada. But in the end of the day, you cannot just throw that reality, the fact that we have toxicity in game, it's a part of the game, away. You can't do that because like you will not create solve you're not creating solution to the problem, you're creating a lot more problems. You're creating a lot more problems for the game because you're running away from the problem. Yeah, but I have pink hair. Okay, okay, thank you. It's kind of like a human nature. Then it goes to mentality because if you think of a game as a fun, it's a fun. It's fun. But if you think a game and community is toxic, it's toxic. No. Yeah, I guess so. But like, here's the thing: would you rather to just run away from the toxicity, or would you rather to just take an opportunity of the toxicity for yourself to actually get yourself entertained? Because for me, I think that's the beauty of it. I think for me, when it comes to toxicity, I think we can actually agree the fact that people who are just talk shitting in game is actually a beautiful thing sometimes. Of course, there are lines to be actually not crossed. I agree on that. There's a limit to it. But if there's a guy who talks shit about how Mercy is just not healing one character, is not healing other character, I think that's just funny. Literally, technically, I will run away because it impacts my own mental health. No, like sometimes it affects you, but sometimes it's fun. I guess no clue. I think it depends on other people to begin with, you know. But in the end of the day, it's literally a mindset thing because like I'm really used to toxicity because I played 3 years in Valorant and I also was growing up with Call of Duty lobbies, watching other people play Call of Duty lobbies. Call of Duty lobbies, I mean, oh my god, like Venice Gaming, I've seen that shit multiple times. But yeah, like some people can't really handle that stuff, and I think that's very normal, and I totally understand that. That's why I don't recommend actually other people play live service games because if they're actually just like really not in for the community stuff. If you're in for the game, just play for the game and just meet everyone. Yeah, just like Melina is a bitch. Melina is not a bitch. Melina at the very least she is a better bitch than you are, Whiskey. I'm joking. I love you, Whiskey. And you know what? Melina is a strong bitch. I fucking love that bitch. She's a bitch that I am in love with. I love that bitch. That bitch would actually take your fucking balls and toss it like around like a fucking dice so that she can actually get a fucking roll into the Baldur's Gate 3 moveset. Hey, a positive mindset might win more games compared to having a negative mindset, something like that. Kinda like that, yeah. In the end of that, like that. Are you talking about League of Legends? I'm talking about toxicity in games in general. So like technically we're talking about Valorant, League of Legends. Of course, technically I was talking about more into League of Legends, but also I was also going into Overwatch 2 as well. I think Ryu plays more on Overwatch 2 as well. But I think we're going more off topic right now because like I think we're spending way too much time to actually talk about something like this. Melina have a lot of children. I do not know who you're talking about. That's not Melina. That's America. America has a lot of children. Excuse me. Calling out games. Are you really talking about League of Legends? Are you really talking about League of Legends? You want to know something about? Well, I'm a League of Legends survivor. You say like as something that you should be proud of, but stop it. I will stop you right there. PUBG cough. Oh god, that's even worse. Okay, I will stop you right there. We don't need to go into that whole entire scenario. We'll be actually discussing it after the video. We're literally really close to finishing it.
How we're wired, and it's why certain characters instantly spark hype online or can aid in tanking a release before it's even out of the oven. Yes, I'm looking at you, Intergalactic.
Oh, thank you so much for mentioning it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Intergalactic could be a good game, but like, do I think this character is actually, attractive to the point to make me actually want to actually get into the game at first hand on day one? No, I don't think so. Probably not, because like I don't like how I am seeing at her. But like, this is like also another thing where I don't like about The Last of Us season 2. Don't get me wrong, Bella Ramsey as a Ellie is just not a really good match. Not on the physical terms, but in terms of the characters, characteristic, it's just not there, man. And that's a flop.
Now, again, I am not saying every character
She
in the
looks
game
nice.
needs to
I don't
look
know
like a
about that.
supermodel, but what I am
She's
so
okay, I
tired of
guess.
seeing is characters intentionally designed to be less appealing. When the people making the decisions nerf a character's looks in a way that has nothing to do with their actual background or story, they just do it just because, it really makes no sense.
Because they just want to push their own ideology. That's it. That's it. They just want to tell you that this kind of stuff. We just want to push you in so that you can make you feel like uncomfortable. It's like literally like it's like trying to tell like a transgender girl literally have the rights to tell you all the kids the fact that they do not need of the age of consent. And I'm talking about that one transgender girl or guy, that one specific VTuber who actually really manipulates the hormones thingy, the rights to hormones, literally. She can wear a wig just like Hitman. What the fuck? Who? And I'm not talking about intergender in general. I'm just talking about there is this one weirdo on the VTuber community who actually talks about about kids doesn't need consent to actually change their hormones, which is technically very bad in terms of medication because medically there are things that are actually very dire with the effects. I'm just saying, if you want to know more, I'll probably check it in for you guys. What the fuck?
Creates unnecessary dissonance.
Kids needs to have consent to change their hormones. No, there is this one VTuber actually said about kids doesn't need the consent of their parents to actually wanting to change their hormones. If the kids want to if the kids want to actually get their testicle removed, they can just do that right off the bat, and that's not very good. No, 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 no.
And
But we'll
it
move on.
pulls
We'll
people
go
out
into
of
that
the
in a minute
fantasy
later.
instead of drawing them in. My last note on this here is
I
just
mean, if they have money, no, you don't get it. You don't get it. I'll tell you in a minute.
think about celebrities. Think about how people respond to celebrities, whether they're singers or actors. How they look, their appearance is always part of the conversation. And so many times you could
Yeah.
easily say it even contributes to their success.
Yeah. Like for example, Jack Quaid. I don't remember what was the name of the movie that he played. He played one of the recent action movie, and he plays like a very scared guy and very fiddle and very weak. Like watch Jack Quake from The Boys as well. He has the same personality as well. He can't play the tough guy like John Wick. He can't play that because it wouldn't make sense for him to actually have that. It doesn't actually tells you the similarities of like how does he have this how can his skinny ass body manage to survive against 100 men, like Bella Ramsey in Ellie. His her body is like fat despite like going through like a very massive training to build muscles and manage to actually take down 100-pound muscle guy in a brawl fight, which doesn't make sense, and that kind of takes people out of the show or any kind of movie really. Ballerina? Oh yeah, her. Oh, I'm really excited to watch Ballerina.
When it technically has nothing to do with what they're known for, it somehow still does. Because that's just how humans respond to other humans. We're made that way. We notice, we connect, we feel.
that
And what
Marinda?
we see at the first glance is
Oh my
the
God.
very first step of that. So,
Oh
of course,
God, this
while
is from
beauty
Assassin's
not
Creed, right?
everything, and it's certainly not a substitute for
Tomb
good
Raider,
writing,
of course.
gameplay, or mechanics.
Now this is
Anything, and
this is inaccurate. The reason why people love Tomb Raider is because that Tomb Raider Lara Croft has has a pyramid tits. That's what I love. Oh, they heard that's Azio. Oh my god! Thank you for actually telling me. I've been wanting to actually get look Azio face for a while because I forgot about it how it looks like.
Certainly not a substitute for good writing, gameplay, or mechanics. It's so
Oh, that's from Yakuza.
often our very first impression, and usually it's the first thing that really captures our attention,
Yes.
lets us know what a character is about, and makes us care. And this is something that
Yeah.
has always mattered and will always matter, regardless of the medium being used to tell the story. And
I told you. In the end of the day, if you want to get people interested into your own like whatever it is, a game, a comic or book or like any characters or fanfic that you want to actually show off on Twitter or on any media platform, you really gotta hit that first impression really well. If your first impression isn't strong to actually make people interested, then your work is just going to be really just worthless. People will not actually be there for anything that's compelling about it or anything that's bad about it. Nobody will ever even care about it. That's why you really need to actually have to hit this first impression spot on. Like my YouTube videos. If my YouTube videos thumbnail are not that good, most people will not actually click on the videos. Actually, they're kind of shit. My YouTube videos are kind of shit. No, I mean my YouTube video thumbnails are kind of shit. That's why I don't get a lot of views. The old school game, she has primary boobs. Oh yeah, yeah. Thank you for telling me. I'm telling her that. Abba pyramid. What the fuck is Abba?
And all of this is why I just do not understand why some developers keep getting it wrong. It really
did she
feels so
why did she
simple.
close that?
Yes, give us
What-
great
why did she change
gameplay,
the clothes,
fun
I mean?
mechanics, a interesting and meaningful story, but
Mm-hmm.
then layer attractive, pretty characters on top of that to create hype around the game, grab our interest, and hold our
Oh, sorry.
attention. All of this just makes for a much more enjoyable experience. For developers who are passionate about the projects that they're making and they're doing it for the right reasons, odds are this is probably already all
Oh.
included. So it really is a guaranteed formula for success. And they're shooting themselves
Samus.
in the foot if the very first thing that we see is a bland, boring, or just unappealing protagonist or cast of characters. Sorry for the outfit jump scare. This is editor
she's
in
so
PC
right.
here, and I was watching this back through and wanted to make sure I just clarified this point really well at the end. All right, I'll see myself out. Okay, thank you so much to those who
Okay,
made it to the
thank
end
you.
of this video. I'm genuinely so glad that you were here. Like I said at the start, this past week has been a bit of a whirlwind. I just want to say
I think she makes really good videos, and because the reason why she makes really good videos is because she really does point out like very, very substantial big points, like that is actually problematic in the gaming industry. Like she made it a really good point. Like there are the points that we've been talked through for years now, but it's good the fact that she comes out and actually tells you there are things about it that should be discussed more generally, because like they're like that should be discussed, like why we are into this and why are we into like attractive characters to begin with. It makes it feel like you're wondering what you should be actually looking into with intention, with much more proper intention after this video. I like it. I like it. It's her making this video. Very good point. In a very intelligent way to actually talk about this. Is the video end? Very close. It's a very intelligent way of like discussing with the people who've been actually like trying to close themselves with with the ugly characters that think they should be actually okay with in the gaming industry.
I appreciate everyone and your support so much. I still really can't wrap my head around everything that's happening, but I'm just gonna be here doing my thing like I was already planning to do. So thank you again for being a part of this YouTube journey with me.
She's gonna be fine. She's doing a really good job, to be honest with you.